Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
Somewhere along the banks of the Nile, a mother is about to do the unthinkable. She is going to let her baby go, not because she doesn't love him, because she loves him too much to keep him. It's 1300 BC, give or take. Egypt is the most powerful empire on earth. And Pharaoh, terrified that the Hebrew slaves under his rule are growing too numerous, too strong, has given an order that would make even his own soldiers flinch. Every Hebrew boy born from this day forward is to be thrown into the river and drowned. This woman has just given birth to a son. She has hidden him for 3 months. Now she can hide him no longer. So she weaves a basket from reeds, seals it with tar, and places her son inside it. Then she sets him on the Nile, the very river meant to kill him, and lets the current decide his fate. That baby's name will become one of the most spoken names in human history. His name is Moses. The basket drifts. Miriam, the baby's older sister, follows along the bank, hidden in the tall grass, her heart pounding with every ripple in the water. Then, footsteps, voices, laughter. It's the last people on earth the family could have expected. The daughter of Pharaoh herself, come down to bathe in the river. She spots the basket. She opens it. Inside is a crying Hebrew baby, the very kind of child her father has ordered destroyed. For one unbearable moment, everything hangs in the balance. She doesn't turn him away. And in a twist no one could have written better, Miriam steps out of hiding and offers to find a Hebrew woman to nurse the child. That woman is the baby's own mother. The boy sentenced to die in the river is carried back into his mother's arms and raised inside the very palace that ordered his death. Moses grows up as Egyptian royalty, trained, educated, comfortable. But somewhere inside him, he never forgets who he really is. One day he sees an Egyptian overseer beating a Hebrew slave, one of his own people. Something breaks in him. In a moment of rage, Moses kills the man and buries the body in the sand. He thinks no one saw. He's wrong. Word spreads, Pharaoh hears of it, and the boy who was saved from execution as an infant now finds himself a wanted man, running for his life across the desert, alone, stripped of his palace, his title, his home. He doesn't stop running until he reaches the land of Midian. There he becomes a shepherd. He marries. He starts a quiet life, tending sheep on the slopes of a mountain far from Egypt. 40 years pass. 40 years of silence. Then, one ordinary afternoon, Moses sees something on that mountain that will shatter that silence forever. A bush is burning, but it is not burning up. From the flame, a voice speaks his name. It tells him this ground is holy. It has seen the suffering of his people in Egypt, the whips, the chains, the cries, and it tells him something that must have felt impossible. Go back to Egypt. Go back to Pharaoh, and set my people free. So Moses goes back, not as a prince this time, but as a man carrying nothing but a shepherd's staff and an impossible command. What follows is a battle of wills between a shepherd and the most powerful ruler on earth. Pharaoh refuses again and again, and with each refusal, plague after plague falls on Egypt. Water turned to blood, darkness at midday, devastation crashing wave after wave over the land. Only after the most terrible plague of all does Pharaoh finally break. The gates of Egypt open. Hundreds of thousands of former slaves walk free for the first time in generations. But freedom does not come easily. Pharaoh changes his mind. His army gives chase. And the fleeing Israelites find themselves trapped. The sea in front of them, the fastest army on earth closing in behind.
They're coming!
There is nowhere
There's
left
nowhere
to run.
go.
This is the moment everything has been building toward. Moses raises his staff over the water, and the sea itself moves. Here's what most people miss about this story. Moses was never the obvious choice. He was a baby marked for death, a murderer on the run, a stuttering shepherd hiding in the desert for 40 years, convinced his best days were already behind him. And yet, the very things that seemed to disqualify him became the things that prepared him. His years in Pharaoh's palace taught him how power worked. His years as a fugitive shepherd taught him how to survive in the wilderness he would one day lead a nation through. Every broken, hidden, wasted-looking chapter of his life turned out to be training for the one moment history needed him. That's the pattern worth sitting with. The desert wasn't a detour from Moses' purpose, it was the road to it. And notice something else. Moses never freed himself. Even after the burning bush, even after the plagues, even at the edge of the sea, he wasn't the one who made the water part. He raised his staff, that's all. The rest was never in his hands. Maybe that's the real lesson buried underneath the miracles. We tend to believe our failures and our silent years disqualify us from whatever we were meant to do. But the story of Moses suggests the opposite, that the wilderness seasons of a life are rarely wasted. Moses didn't part the sea because he was fearless. He parted it because he showed up anyway, staff in a trembling hand, 40 years and a lifetime of doubt behind him. That's not a story about a perfect man. That's a story about an unlikely one. Maybe that's why it's still being told, 3,000 years later. If this story moved you, there's more where it came from. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Next week, we uncover the untold story of Samson, the strongest man who ever lived, and the secret that finally brought him down.